Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Parris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, listening to episode 1020 here at Gamertag Radio. This is your host, Danny, and joining me, as always, the whole GTR crew. We have Pete here, all the way from Switzerland. What's going on, Pete?
What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
Chilling. Here, nice, balmy 44 degrees outside, and chilling.
All right.
I'd be back on the air talking to you guys. And there goes Danny interrupting again.
No, it's a little delay here, but whatever. It's just me.
And also, been your excuse for like 10 years. It's a delay.
I know.
But no one else has a problem with a delay. But
and there you go.
Have a problem with a delay.
We also have here Parris. How you doing, Parris?
Oh, there was a delay. Sorry, I didn't hear you say that.
Okay, there you go.
What's going on, man?
Good, man. Good. What's going on with you, Parris?
Dude, I'm in quarantine. I finished Ozark, by the way.
Thankfully.
Nice. Cool.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That final 10 minutes is worth watching the entire season alone.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you watched it very fast.
I killed it in 2 days. The day it came out, like I said a few shows ago, I was watching Tiger King, and I stopped Tiger King to watch Ozark, and I blasted through it in 2 days.
Yeah, we watched one episode a night because obviously we're trying to kill time with the quarantine. Right. One night we watched 2 in a row, and I was like, wait, we can't do this, and we're finishing. So then we stopped.
Running out of content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once you finish, you're like, oh, we gotta wait.
Now what?
How long was the process from season 2 to season 3? Was it like a long time?
8 months?
Over a year? No,
it was over a year. It was like a year and a half.
Was it a year and a half?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Not bad. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes. Also, subscribe if you have any podcast app to listen to the show. Just search for GTR and follow us. Follow us there. Post a review. It will help us out. Just search for Gamertag Radio. Also, if you want to be part of Fan Mail, this is how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right. So we're back here, and very quick, I know there has been news about this whole Amazon friends posting all type of craziness right now from their store online, and saying that all these PlayStation 4 games coming out for PC, and I also read some Nintendo Switch games too. I don't know, somebody I think is really, really bored over there. But I think you were the one, Parris, who said that Sony shut that down, right? Saying it's all fake. It's an error.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter right before we went live that Sony did come out and squash it. That all that stuff was in error, as they put it.
I mean, before we start the conversation, you guys think that we still might see some of these games available for the PC in the future, or this was just too soon?
I mean, the potential is there. I mean, like they've said themselves, Horizon Zero Dawn coming into PC was a unique situation. We've seen a game like Detroit, whatever the tagline is on that also came to PC. So I don't think every PlayStation game will come to PC, but I think if it makes sense, why not? I mean, we've obviously talked that to death at this point. I know it makes some people upset, but at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt anyone if an older game that debuted on PlayStation comes to PC 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to help PlayStation to get more like new fans, and maybe this would be opportunity for the people to buy a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 in the future if they start doing this more, like promoting their first party titles. I think this is great, man.
Yeah.
All right. So that's about it from that conversation. Move on. And I know Sony just announced this yesterday, I believe, that this is a way for them to promote like, hey, stay at home. If you a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you get the Uncharted collection and also Journey for free. I think that's awesome. Really good. Great games. So you guys gonna try that out or no? I don't know if you guys played it or not, but
Okay, Danny, you do realize there's two of us here, so you can't just say you guys. Which one of us you want to talk?
All right, let's go with Pete. Go with that, Pete.
Thank you.
Well, I don't have my PlayStation anymore. But when I did pick up my PS4, I got the Uncharted collection. So I've played through those. And if there is going to be a title that will kill that'll kill the boredom, full of action, storyline is fantastic, great voice acting in there. It's going to be the Uncharted. It's I think Parris called it the Murderer's Row or something like that in the last show. It's like their stable of first party IPs is fantastic. And then of course, Journey. How can you go wrong with that?
Yeah, Journey is amazing. Amazing game. What about you, Parris? Any thoughts about that?
No, I mean it's great that PlayStation is doing that. I mean, hey, every company, whatever we can do, to help people pass the time at this point is great. And for anyone that has not checked out the Uncharted collection as an example, I mean, it's a fantastic set of games that I'm sure people are going to enjoy. So good on PlayStation. Oh, and Journey too. Journey too. Yeah, Journey is amazing. Can't leave that out. Yeah,
definitely. Now, out of all the Uncharted games, which is your favorite for you guys? For you, Parris and Pete?
Uncharted 2, without question.
Yep, agreed. You too, Pete?
I'd say 2, and then I really liked 4.
Yeah, I did.
I really liked 4, so I would go 2 and 4. 2, then 4 for first and second.
Honestly, 3 was the weakest of the series, in my opinion. For as far as what I enjoyed, I mean, the first one, hey, it is what it is. First into the entry, it kind of set the bar. 2 took it to another level. 3 kind of felt like a step back in a way. And then 4, I mean, at this point, it's almost like Avengers Endgame. You know these characters, the stakes, everything that's going to happen. I felt like it was a satisfying ending for Nathan.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so another rumor here. There's a new update that just came out recently for the Nintendo Switch, which is cool. It has some new features here and there. But one of the things that I read online, too, because they've been investigating datamined the whole software update there, and supposedly in that update there's 2 new Nintendo Switch models that might be coming out in the future, and one of them is a dual screen Switch model. Now, there's been different opinions on what this might be. Some people think it might be like a 3DS version of the Switch. Others are saying this might be a VR version for the Switch. What do you guys think about this? Because we've been having this conversation for a while now that we might see a pro version of this. Parris, what you think? I know we've been talking about this a lot for the past few months.
Whatever this dual screen thing is, I guess I'll have to see what it is to believe it. I would lean towards this probably not being true. Maybe it's some concept stuff that they've been kicking around, but won't make it to actual production. I do think eventually we will see some type of upgrade to the Switch, where it's called the Switch Pro or whatever, but better screen, better battery life, better Joy-Cons, things like that. Just makes sense. I mean, it's pretty much Nintendo's MO to do things like that. Just look at the history of the DS as an example of how they do their hardware upgrades. So there's probably a little bit of truth to it, but I don't think the dual screen thing is true.
Okay. What your opinion, Pete? You think it's true or not? Pete?
He went on mute.
And back to normal.
Oh.
I've been gone for almost a year, and I'm back to normal. Muted myself.
There you go.
It's like I never left.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, we saw how they did that with the what was it, their old handhelds. We always thought, it'll just be single screen. They went dual screen. So why not? Now, would it be side by side? Would it be like a clamshell type Switch? That would then make the Switch heavier, which would mean less battery type, because now you got to power both screens. Therefore reducing the enjoyment you actually get. But I don't see why it's a bad idea. I do think that there's other things that they could do to make it better without having to add a second screen, that being either a better screen for more resolution. I think it maxes out at 720 now. If we could do 1080, that'd be fantastic. I know you could do 1080 going through your TV, but native 1080 on the actual little mini screen, I think would be great. Obviously better battery anyways. I think reading in the chat, people are talking about better Bluetooth or built-in Bluetooth. I think that'd be fantastic. So you're no longer physically tethered to your Switch. Those are some things I think would be much better.
Now, let me ask you this question, and you actually kind of answered it as you were talking. You mentioned that the dual screen. Yes, I like the post. The dual screen. This is a quarantine. We live. I don't care. You mentioned the dual screen thing, and this is why I don't think it would work. You mentioned the TV. So the second you plug that thing into your television, I'm assuming you're having games that take advantage of the second screen and all that. Now you just plop it into your dock and it's on the TV. There is no second screen. Now what?
I would say split it, because what if you have a game that can utilize the function of the screen as well as whatever is displayed up on your TV?
I think you just broke the purpose of the Switch at that point. The purpose of the Switch is to basically take your AAA games no matter where you go, on the road with you, plugging in your TV, etc. You've now compromised your television by creating the split screen. For what?
They're Nintendo. They can do whatever the hell they want. You'll pay for it.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
It's Nintendo though. It is Nintendo though. But you know what? I also heard that this is also possible that, you know, there's a Nintendo Switch Lite version, right? But the other version that might come out, it will be strictly for TV. It's not to play on the go or anything. That might be the Pro version that's coming out in the future. That's the rumor. So you think would that work, Parris? Something like that, instead of having a dual screen?
I don't know how I became a Nintendo expert, but in my 2 cents, no, I wouldn't do that either. I mean, that's the whole gimmick of the Switch that makes it so great, is that you can take it wherever you go, right? It's a AAA experience wherever you go. So why would you come out with a quote unquote Pro version that now it's basically just a console that like a PlayStation or an Xbox, where it's attached to your television? I think the Switch Lite works because, again, it's still taking that AAA experience wherever you go. That to me is what makes the Switch so unique. I would imagine a Switch Pro continues that you can take it wherever you go, but it's also giving you a more high fidelity experience on the go as well. Like Pete was saying, now you have a 1080p screen. Improved Joy-Cons, things like that. Maybe it does upscale to 4K if you put it onto your television. Something like that seems to me the more logical thing to do with Nintendo. And let's also remember, Nintendo's not going to make this thing too expensive either. So there probably would be some cost-cutting measures in there. So I wouldn't hold my breath too much on what it potentially could be. I just think nerfing it to the TV would be a bad idea. And sorry, Pete, I know Nintendo can do whatever they want, but I think adding a second screen makes no sense either, because you're basically just making the DS again.
Right.
But you know what the sad part is, Parris? That people are still going to buy it just because it's Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but again, this is why Nintendo, like Pete said, can do whatever the hell they want. This is why Nintendo will roll out Mario again and Metroid and Donkey Kong and all that. And like the dummies that we are, because I'm one of them, we're going to buy them all again.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Always happens, man. All right. So you guys ready for a quarantine talk? Parris, Pete?
No,
you guys ready
I'm not yet, because you forgot one other thing that happened today. And I have to take credit for this one, because I'm the one that facilitated breaking this news. So,
all right. Breaking news. Yeah.
So we're recording this on April 15th, 2020. And as people may or may not know, April 16th, 2020 was the original release date for Cyberpunk 2077. So there is an alternate universe where I am actually playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now. That could have happened, right? But it didn't, because they delayed it to September. So someone had tweeted at me today and was like, tomorrow's the day, because the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account over the past week has been putting out little clips of stuff like gang information. They're doing that PC modder contest, things like that. So logically, people were starting to say, oh, my God, maybe this is leading up to them having a big reveal on the 16th, because, hey, maybe this is a way to say, hey, apologies for delaying. Here's a bunch of new Cyberpunk 2077 info. Right. So when that person said that to me, I then tweeted, I was like, hey, if you look at what's been going on, they're probably going to have some information. I don't know how in depth it's going to be, but we only got a few months to go. Well, one of the heads of PR at CD Projekt Red responded to me and said straight up, we are aware of the date, but we don't have any information set to release on that date, but we will have some more information soon. So if you're holding your breath waiting for some Cyberpunk info tomorrow, it ain't happening. So there you go. That's your breaking news.
Oh, man. Parris, how was it for you, man? Reading that, you're like, so disappointed.
I was literally standing up on top of a hill when I got
Really?
it. Yes. I was standing on top of the hill when I got that tweet. I was like, oh man. But you know what? Like we said offline, I get it. It would have been nice if we got something, but the fact that we aren't, that's okay, because, you know, with the conference calls that they've had the past week or so, it's not getting delayed. It is coming out in September. They reassured that COVID's not going to stop that. And they also mentioned that, yeah, they did have marketing plans for E3 and Gamescom and all that. And now that's going to all go digital. So again, what if we're putting on our speculation hat? We know they've had a marketing deal with Xbox the past few years for the reveal of Cyberpunk. Maybe it's a part of whatever this digital event's going to be for Microsoft in June.
Yeah.
It just makes sense,
so.
right? And then, you know, we kind of further speculated, yeah, it's going to be all digital, so we're not going to be at E3, but they could kind of simulate the E3 experience, have the devs maybe do a quick demo during the digital presentation. Maybe afterwards they set up interviews with some of the devs and producers from CD Projekt Red. Maybe they even have an extended demo, privately for the media or something online. Who knows? So there's definitely more information that's going to come from them in the next couple of months. And the way I look at it is this. We just got to hold on for another 4 months, because once we hold on for another 4 months, the game is at least going to start to be in reviewers' hands. It's going to be done. And then we just get to September and we're good. So not too much longer.
Yeah. And when do you think the journalists is going, like the media is going to start
they said
preview events? Anything
they
like
said
that?
they want the media, the reviewers, to have it weeks in advance. So when I hear weeks, I think 2 to 3. Right? It comes out on September 17th. So I think there's an outside chance you could see people. Well, you won't know because it'll be under NDA, but people may start to review that game by as early as the last week of August.
Yeah. Mid to late August.
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Think so too. Yeah. What are the chances of Keanu Reeves recording like a short, quick video for the digital event?
High.
About the game. High. Okay. There you go. From home, right?
Yeah, I think it's high. I mean, he's clearly the celebrity face of the game, right? We've not seen anything from him in a year at this point. Why not? Why not have Johnny Hill Silverhand do something? I don't think that's a crazy thing to think.
Not like he ain't got nothing else to do right now.
Yeah.
Well, the Matrix 4, but that got shut down, I guess.
Yeah. No, but don't be surprised if you see also like an official TV ad with Keanu Reeves in there too, man.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah. That's what I mean. They're going to use Keanu Reeves to promote this game to the masses. I mean, this is, people can argue it if they want, but in my opinion, this is the biggest game of 2020. It still is. The fact that they've invested so much into this, resources, that everyone's working from home and they're not skipping a beat with development. They fully expect to be done with it. They fully expect physical copies to be in people's hands in September. I mean, hey, I bring it on. That's what I say.
Yep. Yeah, I see that happening, man. Cool. All right. So now Parris, we could do quarantine talk?
Yeah, because I'm waiting to hear I almost cursed, but I'm waiting to hear your crazy theory.
Okay, my crazy theory. All right. Quarantine talk, guys. It's official right here. And joining us is also Pete too, because Pete, he has an idea what we've been talking about, but
I have no idea what y'all have been talking about. This is
oh no,
I have no idea. So it's about to get wild.
So there's two things that have been going on now for the past few days. One of the first ones that I read online was about some like Sega and Microsoft announcement at E3. Look, I have a theory about that. I don't know about like Microsoft acquiring Sega. I don't see that happening at all. But I see maybe like a partnership of like maybe we might see some of the more games from Sega on Game Pass. We've seen that before already with a couple games. Because look, man, if you go back and listen to Phil interview that we had him on our show, he randomly just started talking about Phantasy Star Online, and really talking about Sega and his trip to Japan. And I think Parris also, during that interview, also started talking about like, are we going to see any exclusive studios like in Japan developing games for the Xbox Series X and so on. So,
but I do want to talk about PSO real quick, and I know I'm going to drag a little bit later, but hopefully that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just over.
Please take all the time you need.
I was over in Japan, and one of the things I got to do was sit down with Sega and talk to the PSO team, and look at all the progress that they've been making. I know the beta is getting ready to go on, what is it?
This weekend. I'm a huge fan.
7th. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was just trying to figure out days of the week. And it was so cool to sit with the team. And literally I went through all the functions. I went through all the different art. We got to play. They have, it is PSO. So you can see it. You can see the passion in that team, and them really investing in that franchise. I'm going to say to bring it back. And some people probably won't love that I say that. But when I think of outside of Japan and it being something that a lot of us remember. I just love the amount of commitment that Sega has right now to that game. Clearly there's work to be done, and that's why they're doing their open beta, their closed beta this weekend, to get more people in, the people they've invited and the people who've been accepted. But it was just awesome to sit with the team, and I wanted to thank them and to sit down. The trip was awesome. I got to play a lot of games, and that was definitely a highlight, getting to see all the commitment that they have to that franchise. And I don't know that it'll scratch your TFLO itch, but I'll say, at least for the PSO fans out there, it sounds like the team's trying to do something great, which is cool.
That's good.
Yeah, let me start, and I'll try to do it quick because I know we're over time. But I'm going to start with, not to make it about me, but I'll just say when I got into this job, the thing I was seeing were third parties skipping Xbox One. And not even shipping on the platform. And to be fair, I think we'll see, there'll still always, I don't know about always, there will still be examples of that, and every one of them causes me pain. But the number one thing I wanted to do when I started in this role was to get back on the ground a couple times a year, playing with the studio heads, playing their games, and just making them know that I had a commitment to their global success. And I think one of the outputs of that first was just the number of Japanese published games that we were able to show in E3. And I've been really proud of the way that we built a partnership with almost all of the publishers there, and had really great showings on our E3 stage. And yes, those games are shipping on all platforms, but the fact that games that had never been on our stage were on our stage, then we started seeing games that had never been on our platform, not only coming to the platform, but being highlighted on our stage. And that's the journey that I started on. When I'm over there, I'll tell you the number one piece of feedback I get from the studio heads, and I've been around for a long time. I know a lot of them incredibly well. Is to say the people in our studios love working with you guys. They just wish they saw more Xboxes in the stores around here, and because you want to be working on a game and have the platform it's going to be on kind of be seen in your home country. You want your friends to be able to play it and all of this. So our market in Japan for our Xbox is important to us. Obviously, Sony and Nintendo, both strong Japanese companies, have done a great job. I don't know that we're winning in Japan anytime soon, but the position that we have in Japan today from a platform isn't acceptable to me. And we're going to do a much better job with this next upcoming launch of not waiting 10 months to launch in Japan like we did last time. We're going to make sure that our number one services like Game Pass and xCloud and stuff are there so people have access to it. And I think what you're asking about is, could we have more homegrown first-party content that's developed there? And I'll just say I think we can. And I'm not announcing anything, but I think the Japanese market is specifically important because of the creative community there, because of the gamer community there, and I want Xbox to mean more there than it does today. And that means working across a bunch of different fronts to make that possible. And it takes time. And like I said, I'm still going to see some things get announced that are on our platform, and I cringe every time that happens. But I'll say relative to 4 or 5 years ago, I feel good about our progress. And I definitely know that we're in this for the long run in that market, in all the markets. And we want to have, just to continue to increase the relevance and the importance of Xbox to people.
That's how the conversation started about, from there. And then we get to see during E3, Streets of Rage 4, brand new game is also going to be available on Game Pass. Yakuza, that came out, Game Pass, right? All the games are going to be there too. Phantasy Star Online, exclusive for Xbox now, launched as a launch time exclusive, but also is going to be available for PC now, late May, and so on. So we're seeing the relationship from Sega and Microsoft growing a lot more, right? So the thing that I've been telling Parris, because we always talk over the phone. He always calls me, and we start talking about like random stuff, right? So one of the things I mentioned to him, like, I don't see Microsoft acquiring Sega, but I could see them maybe funding like for a game, a reboot. Like let's make believe Jet Set Radio. Let's say I can see Microsoft investing in that and have a studio just working on that, similar to like Bayonetta, Platinum Games, and Nintendo. Nintendo is the one investing in that game on marketing, development, everything. But that game is only going to be available for the Nintendo Switch. So I could see something like that, but I don't see Sega, Microsoft acquiring Sega at all. So that's from my side. What you think, Parris? That theory.
So I want to go on a record to say this isn't the bat crazy theory.
No. This is not it. This is not it. No, this is not it.
So I'm still waiting on that one. And I mean, like I said, we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. I mean, like Phil Spencer went out of his way to bring up, Sega and Phantasy Star. He obviously had the big trip over into Japan. There's been rumblings about them acquiring a Japanese studio or something. So I think when we talk Sega specifically, Sega's just too big to acquire at this point. Would it be something Microsoft would desire to own some of their IPs? I'm sure they would, but the price they would have to pay to completely acquire a company like Sega just seems too steep. In my opinion, it'd be better off just building their own studio and making their own original IPs at that point. Mm-hmm. But a partnership with Sega, oh yeah, I could totally see that. I could totally see them doing some type of partnership with Sega, maybe even acquiring some limited exclusive window potentially. On the console side, depending on what the IP was, like Sonic as an example, no, Sonic's just too big of an IP to see Sega partnering and have an exclusive window on that. They're going to want that on every platform possible. But it could happen. I definitely think there is some merit to a partnership announcement happening this June between the two. But I don't think that's the biggest news to come from Microsoft in Japan. I do think they are going to either acquire or start up their own studio in Japan. And I think we're going to see a new IP that will be exclusive to the Xbox platform. My hope is it is a Japanese RPG to come from them. Lost Legacy, right? But that was one of the dumbest things I ever said. But you know what I'm saying? Some in the vein of a Blue Dragon or a Lost Odyssey, something like that, where it'd be an original Japanese RPG, Japanese company, to kind of just so they can start to put a foothold over there. I mean, they're like Phil himself said, he cringes every time there is a Japanese IP that does not show up on the Xbox platform. So it would be smart for them to start to forge that on their own and to just build that portfolio themselves versus relying on third parties to do it for them.
Yeah. Now, the conversation I was having with Parris, and Pete, please chime in. Which studio will be perfect to be part of Microsoft Game Studios? Because I think personally, it has to be in my opinion, a studio that's well known. It can't just be any small time studio that nobody knows. If the company really want to start a big buzz, like which company will be the perfect one to join Xbox?
Well, I could have sworn this was like this exact subject was part of my my E3 predictions. I'd have to go back to I don't think I have my notes from that back then. But I wouldn't be surprised to see, I think we had mentioned maybe Bandai Namco, one of the lower performing tradition. I'm just throwing out a random name. I'm just saying a lower performing Japanese studio.
Pete, can I pause you real quick?
Maybe.
It doesn't matter what your theory is, Danny will
he's
disagree
going to shoot
with
it down.
Yes,
right. Unless he agrees with it, he's going to shoot it down regardless.
Yep.
I could have sworn I know I brought up like Atlas or something like that during E3, but since they do Persona, I don't see that happening because it's such a big one. Like maybe Capcom or Square or something like that. But I just don't. Going back to the original subject, which was them buying Sony or them buying Sega or what have you. I don't see that happening. They make too much money, and they would leave a lot of money on the table by being exclusive to Microsoft. Maybe on, like you said, maybe on specific titles or having timed exclusives. Yes, but an outright purchase or an outright partnership of them making their stuff exclusive to Xbox, I think would just be they'd leave way too much money on that table, just globally. Because remember, they feed every market. They feed Xbox. They feed PlayStation. They feed Nintendo. So I just and PC.
Yeah.
And PC.
And PC. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
There's no way they would leave that much amount. That's unless Microsoft throws like the entire vault at them, while potentially being lucrative for them. I think from Sega's shareholders' perspective, I don't think they would do that just because they would just, like I said, leave way too much money on the table. Could we see them maybe pick up a smaller performing studio? Square. Well, they have good.
Square is not small.
They're too big.
Are they?
Way too big. Yeah.
Capcom. So let's go down. Let's run down the list. Right.
Yeah.
All right. You said Square. No. Capcom.
Too big.
Too big. All right. From Software.
Maybe. Yes, I can see that.
Now the question is do you think so? Like games like Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls.
I can see that.
Those are those multi-plat?
Yeah.
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been totally off of the console war thing, so I don't know. So
and I think this is the conversation I was having with Parris the other day. Like, because we were talking about Sonic, and I was like, look, let's go with the what if crazy talk, right? Let's just say, let's make believe we're watching the live stream, the digital live stream from Xbox, and let's say the company announces, okay, we acquired Sega. Let's just make believe. Sonic is a big title. I really doubt that they're just going to have that game exclusive for Xbox. Similar to Minecraft, it was acquired, right? But that game is available for every console, PC, mobile device, everything, right? And that's the game that makes the most money out of all the games from Xbox. That's the number one game. So if, let's just say, and make believe that Xbox acquires Sega, I really doubt Sonic is going to be only exclusive for Xbox. That's going to be available for everything because at the end of the day, that's making money for the company. You know what I'm saying? But Parris was like, no, that would be a waste of money for Xbox to do. I personally disagree with that. But that's
so let me throw one last thing into the ring. Koei Tecmo. Mm-hmm. They're small enough.
Yes,
that would be the one studio that has a history of titles, but is not one that is so large that they could be self-sustaining in this market. Being able to leverage Microsoft from a cash perspective brings up the portfolio. Microsoft using the catalog of games, we're talking like Dead or Alive, Dynasty Warriors, Ninja Gaiden, can't think. Hyrule Warriors, Neo was probably their most popular in today's market, right? Outside of like maybe Dead or Alive, but that would then uplift the catalog of Microsoft by being able to leverage those IPs for the future, which is what their current goal is right now. Outside of Xbox Series X, from a hardware perspective, from a catalog perspective, that helps bolster that catalog.
Yeah, I can see that.
So. And we don't need to spend too much time on the subject other than I couldn't let this go when we had the phone call about it. And I'm not going to let this go on the podcast either. So your what if pretend that Microsoft bought Sega.
Yeah.
There is no way in crispy fried hell that Sonic the Hedgehog would show up on a PlayStation platform and maybe even the Nintendo platform if Microsoft were to invest that amount of money to bring those IPs exclusive to them. Because at that point, what is the point of Microsoft even making hardware? They might as well go third party at that point. If now all of a sudden your big IPs, you got to put them on every platform. They're not going to do that. And using Minecraft as the example, that is the extreme exception to the rule. In this case, they acquired Minecraft. It was such a big IP already globally that they would have looked like the bad guys if they would have tried to pull it back and make it exclusive to an Xbox platform. Because remember, there was no Xbox Play Anywhere at that point. So you still had to say, yep, it's going to be available on Xbox. It needs to be available on PC. It doesn't need to be available on PlayStation, Nintendo, etc. They had to make sure iOS on down the line. Sonic does not fall into that realm. So you were wrong on that one. And that is the hill I will live on.
No, that's an opinion. So I'm not wrong. That's an
question.
opinion, Parris.
So question, and I know this would probably, well, I don't know how Danny would react to this, but if they were to purchase, however, Sony, doesn't that also give them license to Bayonetta?
That's Sega's IP. Now here's the thing: they already have that contract though.
But see, this is why this is such silly talk. Because number one, Sega's not going to sell them. It's not. It will cost Microsoft so much freaking money to acquire all those IPs, right? That at that point, okay, if they're spending that amount of money, the whole point of it would be because you're trying to get more people to jump into your ecosystem, right? So why would you enable people to continue to play Sega IPs where they already play their games? Doesn't make sense.
Here's the thing, though, Parris. Again, we should move on, but
yes,
I'm just
we
saying,
should.
But here's the thing: the case with Bayonetta, this is a contract. It will be a legal mess.
Forget the contracts. We're in your pretend land.
Well, I'm telling you, it's not going to happen with Bayonetta. I think that's going to come out on the Switch only because Nintendo already invested money on that.
It's a what if that's never going to happen. So you're right.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
So let's get to the real nonsense that you said to me on the phone.
No. Let me close this out with this. And I know somebody in the chat mentioned that their Sega's annual revenue is like 219 billion, right? For Microsoft wouldn't do it. But think about it. They paid 2.5 or 2.9 billion for Minecraft. So maybe not for the entire portfolio, but I could definitely see it for one or two IPs.
But why would Sega? Wait, you know what? Forget it. Because
we'll
be all day on this. I don't even want to get into it.
What if?
This is a what if scenario. What if? Yeah. And by the way, whoever's listening, and every time Pete or we say chat is Twitch chat, I'm trying not to mention too much because, I don't want people to feel left out. You know what I'm saying? So those that are listening to the podcast. But all right, Parris, what is the crazy talk you said I was saying? I want to hear this. What crazy talk?
Okay. So you were talking about the rumors that fizzled up about Xbox having two media briefings, one in May and one in June. You already know the rest, so go.
Okay. All right. So quarantine talk begins now. So the rumor is, well, we've been talking about crazy.
What are you talking about?
No, but this is crazier. This is even crazier than the last one. So.
Quarantine talk.
Yeah. This is the crazy one too. Now, but here's the thing. So the rumor is Xbox is going to have two digital streams, one in May and one in June, to promote and talk about Xbox Series X, some of the games, and blah, 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 right? So that makes sense because usually every time there's a new console from Xbox, there's always two events, one in May, and then at E3 is the press conference. So that part I believe. So the conversation I was telling Parris, I asked him, Parris, if you go to the event and as a fan, what game should Xbox announce during the May digital event? Because if you go back to December, we got to see the new Hellblade during the Video Game Awards, and they show the console. So according to Phil, they want to do bold moves, right? I asked that to Parris, and Parris said Forza. And I'm like, why? What's so bold about Forza Motorsport to show that in May? If they show at least one new game and save June for like the big guns, I personally said to him, look, people already been talking about Fable. Show Fable in May. And Parris said, no, they they should show that in June. I'm like, no, I think they should show that in May. But that's my opinion. Parris, go on.
Okay, so first I have a question for you. Is that opinion fully based on the 4chan link? Because the 4chan link mentioned Fable.
No. I swear to God, I didn't even know that was there. That was just my opinion as a fan. Because the reason is I mentioned that Parris. Fable, the new Fable has been talked about now for a year. It's already kind of known, and I think it's better to just let that out in May and save the big surprises in June. As a fan, I think that's more powerful as an announcement like that. Like when you went to the Sony press conference at E3 and they showed the new Final Fantasy VII remake, that was huge. Like, I think that's big, in my opinion, having surprises. But stuff that been talked about, this has been like leaked. Yo, show it in May. That's why I said that.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming I have the floor here. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Okay, great.
Quarantine talk, baby.
Quarantine talk. So Microsoft is going to, and again, we're in pretend land again. Microsoft does a May reveal and they do a June reveal. So let's just say, for all argument's sake, both of these reveal happens in a 30-day period, right? Right.
Yeah.
The purpose of the May reveal would be to fully flesh out their hardware reveal, to say this is the Series X or Lockhart, allegedly. If that happens, who the frick knows? But let's just say whatever their hardware announcement for launch is going to be, that's what the May reveal event is for. It is to talk about the hardware. It is to talk about the specs. It is to talk about the features, everything that's going to happen with the hardware of the new Xbox, right? Right. So you want to show off games that can feature that. So it would most likely be a combination of older games. You know, they're going to show some Xbox One games. Let's just say they'll show Gears 5. Let's say, you know, they'll show some older 360 games, original Xbox games, to show off the backwards compatibility of it, how that works, the fast load times, maybe the 4K upscaling, things like that. Now, I do agree with you. They should show off a newer game for that, to show off the, I'm talking. So so I was silent the whole time you were talking. So you do show a new game, right? That game should be something that is a known entity, something like a Forza, because what Forza is going to do is going to show off the graphic fidelity of what the Series X can do. Because typically Forza has always been a graphical showcase at launch for the Xbox. So you show Forza 8, you show that off, you show that it's doing native 4K, it's doing 60 plus frames per second, right? The fast load times, the whole thing. Why would you give up a bomb? Because Fable is complete rumor that 90% of the consumers out there have no freaking clue is coming. So why would you show off Fable in that scenario of a hardware reveal when you can hold it back 2 to 3 weeks? When you do your full on games reveal, you show it there. It's a huge surprise to your entire consumer base. You show it off then, because that's when the focus is clearly on the games themselves and not the actual hardware. So you're going to take a hardware reveal and then you're going to have to pause towards the end of it to fully explain this new game release that you're having. Oh, by the way, the rest of the game releases are coming in 3 weeks. All right, bye. They're not going to do that. You're going to show Forza. Okay. Danny. Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead. No. You interrupted me. Go ahead. I know it was, but I called you Danny because that's what Danny does.
Why not just throw it as a teaser at the end of that reveal? Whether it's just showing a character that's synonymous with the last 3 Fables, or just, you know what I mean? Like, similar to how we had talked about how, okay, we anticipated every other, E3, ending to just be, their showcase of like, just show me Master Chief's helmet and walk away, right? And turn the lights on and say, thank you for coming. Why not do something like that with Fable? I'm just saying, if you're going to do that for that May reveal, then that's how and when you could do it. But
I don't even think you do that. I think, and to go as part, because I've been rewatching all the E3s over the past week. We'll get into this in a future episode, but it's been fascinating, by the way. So if you're going to mirror what they did in 2013 with their Xbox One May reveal, of course, they're not going to do the freaking camera and TV. But as far as the games that they showed, because remember, they did show games there. Guess what one of the games was that they showed there, Danny? Do you remember? In the May Xbox One reveal.
Forza was there.
Okay, go. Okay,
let me explain.
No, I don't need you to explain. Okay. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Don't trust me. I'm coming back, but go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Okay. What I'm saying is, they did show Forza in that, but they also brought on third-party developers as well. Activision and EA took the stage as well to show off the quote-unquote power of the Xbox. Again, Fable is a big bullet in the holster. Why would you give up any of that ahead of June? When, if they were to tease anything at the end, Pete, to go to your question, it would be Halo Infinite. because it's a known quantity at this point. It's something we already know is coming. So you could further tease Halo Infinite, get more in 2 to 3 weeks. Why would you tease Fable, which, by the way, would probably confuse half of the audience because it's been so long since we had a Fable, right? You wait until you can fully deliver your message of what Fable is going to be. Why would you do that at a hardware reveal event? That is my entire point. So no, I disagree with what you're saying. Look, I could be 1,000% wrong and y'all can all laugh at me in May, but I would not reveal Fable at a hardware event. I'd let my third parties come up there, show off EA Sports, all that stuff. I would show a Forza again, and I would show older games. That's what I would do for the hardware reveal. Then June is when I'm showing you my banging new IP lineup, show you all those games, full reveal. The entire 90 minutes to 2 hours is dedicated to only that. And then at the end, $4.99 and walk away. Done. That's what I would do.
Okay, can I come back now?
Now you can,
something?
because see, now I'm done talking. Unlike you, I don't interrupt you, but go ahead.
Wow. Why you relax? It's a conversation, dude. It's not, it's all good. All right. So here's the thing. Go back to December of 2019, where you, sir, were sitting down watching the Video Game Awards. You were sitting down, not expecting anything. Oh, maybe they're going to show Cuphead, right? Cuphead 2 or whatever. You get to see the console, Xbox Series X. Nobody was expecting that. And then they showed Hairblade. Microsoft could have saved Hellblade for June. Why show it at a award show, Parris? Why would they show that at an award show? And another thing too, a lot of people, if let's say Microsoft announce and show Forza and show the tech demo and how beautiful it looks on Xbox Series X, a lot of the people that watch those press conferences are going to say, oh, it's the same games. There's nothing new. And then they have to wait until June. So we're going to hear that talk for a good month. So I think personally, as a fan, show at least one unannounced game. It doesn't have to be Fable. It could be anything, but show something and save the big guns for June. That's the thing that I'm trying to say. Yes, I brought up Fable because Forza is not going to be enough for May. It's not. They show that it's going to be the same thing as 2013. Oh, it's Forza that comes out every year. That's it. That's the reason why I said Fable, Parris.
Okay, so you want me to respond?
Yeah, go.
You literally answered your own freaking question then. So the fact that you want to bring up the Game Awards and put Hellblade 2 in it, so let's go back to our Phil and Spencer interview when he talked about that. He said because they realized they needed to add something tangible to revealing the hardware. So yeah, you do show a game that nobody was expecting at the time and you attach it to that. The May reveal is not about surprising people with games because you're going to show all the games in another 2 to 3 weeks after that reveal. So why, again, like you just said, give up one of your big reveals in an event that has absolutely nothing to do with that? Because we know in a few weeks we're getting those reveals at that time. If anything, what you just said, show Hellblade 2 again. Show it again during May because it's something we already know about. Show Halo because it's something we already know about versus giving up. Because remember, Forza isn't announced yet, so we don't officially know that it's coming. Why give up a game that you have not officially announced or shown yet during a hardware reveal event? You would wait until the actual event that it's supposed to be for, which is your game reveal. This is the point that I'm making. So you also kind of backed off to try and give yourself some wiggle room. I don't think I didn't catch that. Well, I just brought up Fable as an example. No, you freaking double down that the game they're going to show is Fable. Now you're trying to back off. Oh, they might show something else.
I'm still sticking with that. I'm still and let me add this. And I have a feeling instead of us waiting to June for Cyberpunk, we probably see Cyberpunk in May.
Oh Lord, now you've completely lost your mind. Okay.
No, wait.
Oh my God. Okay.
Really? I mean, it's a game that's already announced. You said to show something that's been announced. Why not show a game like that? I mean, that's just me. I'm just saying.
Now you're just throwing stuff at the wall.
No, it's not throwing.
Pete, please, be you're the third party in.
So wait, show a game that's not announced, or show a game that has been announced.
Now it's Cyberpunk. Now you went from Fable to now they're showing Cyberpunk. Which one is it?
Oh my God, man! No, show the power of the difference between Xbox One and this Xbox Series X. Show like a quick demo. I think that's what we.
But you would do those. You would do that with titles that are known to push the boundaries of the hardware, which is why Parris said Forza, which is why I think Hellblade would be a really solid title to do that, because if you looked at the first one really pushed the graphics and audio. But nobody knows. While Fable is the world's worst kept secret at Microsoft, everybody knows Playground Games is working on that. Nobody knows what it looks like. Nobody has seen legitimate verified leaks of that, right? So we don't know what that title looks like at all. So while I understand, that would be essentially the big spade if you're playing spades, right? That's if you play the big joker on that one. I don't think that's the time you do that. No, it just wouldn't make sense, especially if we know that May is the dedicated hardware reveal. That's when you want to focus strictly on the hardware and SSD speeds and whatnot.
Look, I'm just bringing us stuff. Just having a conversation.
Okay, so but can you just admit you're just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, like foreskew?
No.
Because this is the same thing.
No, and you know what? And I'll stick with that too.
Well, you're wrong on that one too. So congratulations.
No, I'm just saying. Look, when I say something, it's because as a fan, I'm thinking like, oh, this I can see that happening. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's not like, oh, I just want to throw stuff to have a conversation on a podcast. It's not because of that, Parris. I'm not that type of person dying for people to click.
Well, no,
look,
we're actively having this debate, and your retort to me, you've not given me a logical retort as to why you think Fable is the game that they're going to show at the May reveal.
I just told you why I feel that show that first.
But why?
There's nothing. Because it's been talked about from the fans, not the hardcore fans, not the mainstream, but the hardcore fans. It's been talked about. I could see that, man. What's the big deal with that? I'm just letting you know that I could see that happening. Just showing it in May. It's not a big deal. And show more in June. I mean, I don't know. That's just what I feel, man.
Okay.
Yeah. I just say, look, man. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say, look, I was wrong. But that I'm gonna stick with that because that's what I believe, and I would like that. I would love to see that. As a fan of games, I think it would be awesome. But you're shutting it down for me because
No, I'm not shutting it down. I'm not. You're the one. Okay, look. You're behind the scenes. He's the one that was ranting and raving to me on the phone the other day, and I was like, I'm not going to talk about this to the podcast. We're doing this on the podcast. I refuse to talk about this on the podcast. And then he's sending me little chats, Fable, exclamation point, middle fingers. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait to the podcast. And on the podcast, I want you to explain to me why you think Fable is the game that they're going to show at an alleged May hardware reveal event. That's it. And look, and for the record, I could be 1,000% wrong. And
he was already wrong today. So
and you can laugh at me all you want when that happens. But as we sit here today, I think you're insane and you're drunk. How about that? Quarantine talk.
I'm not drunk. I wish I had a drink. You got a drink over and send it over. Hey, but look, this is the thing I like about when we have conversations all the time. It could be on WhatsApp. It could be over the phone. Because we start saying crazy stuff. Look, man, I've been stuck in my apartment for 5 weeks. I'm going to start thinking crazy stuff like what might happen. Look, Parris years ago said one time on a podcast as a prediction that Sony was going to give out the Uncharted game.
Yes, I did.
No, was it Uncharted or The Last of Us?
No, it was The Last of Us. It was The Last of Us.
The Last of Us to the whole audience. Everybody, thank you for coming. Everybody's getting a free copy of The Last of Us. We're like, yo, that's some crazy. See? Parris had a dream. Parris had a dream. I have a dream too.
But to be fair, why did I think that? Because the year before, you and I were in the audience, front row, and they gave us all Xbox 360s. That's why I'm like, oh, they're going to try and do what Microsoft did. That's why I thought that.
Sony's not going to do that because Microsoft was desperately needed a buzz
yeah,
at
but if you
time.
think about it, that would have been the cheaper route. You give everybody a $60 game, not a $300 console. So think about it. Let's think about this.
Right? Can I say this one thing, and then we can move on from this crazy talk. So again, this is all rumors that they're doing 2 events. We don't even know if this is true. Yeah, I'm just going to give you my prediction. My prediction is if they do a May reveal, they're going to show the Series X. They're not going to say Lockhart because I think they realize the Xbox One X is the route they should be going with the cheaper option, my opinion. They're going to show backwards compatibility with the 360, the Xbox One, the original Xbox. They're going to show Gears 5 running on the Series X in 4K, 120 frames, and HDR, and freaking Coleco Vision, whatever they're going to do. They're going to do some crazy stuff with the old games, right? Then I do think they show a new game like Forza or Halo. I refuse to say Fable. I just won't give you that one. But they're going to show something off. There it is. My dog agrees too. You hear him? He agrees. They're going to do that. And then they're going to say, we'll see you again in June. And then in June, they're going to open the show with, hey, Danny, here's Fable. Middle finger to you. And then that's the rest of the show. There you go. There's my prediction.
You actually think that's going to be the first game they're going to show?
No, I think it's Halo. I think the first game they show is Halo.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
Yeah,
here's my prediction. I can see. Okay. Actually, Smarty Pants. So since we are talking predictions like that, I do think they open the show with Halo. I think because again, I've been rewatching all this stuff. They did this in 2016, if I remember. Bonnie Ross was the first person you saw on stage to show off Halo 5, right? So let's just say they do that, and then I think they open with Halo Infinite, and they close with the new IP from the initiative. Here's a peek at the future. There you go.
I can see that. I can see that.
Done.
That part, I definitely can see that. Now, what if it's Perfect Dark? What if it's Perfect Dark? What happened is Perfect Dark?
Oh, I'd be. Wait, do you mean to close it?
To close it
No.
from they say no.
No, I don't agree with you on that one.
Really? That's
No.
a powerful.
No,
that's a powerful announcement.
But it's not powerful to close the show. Powerful to close the show is something like they did with Cyberpunk back in 2018. That was something big. Would be like a Halo game or Gears. Perfect Dark, dude. We have not seen Perfect Dark since 05.
05, yeah.
Yeah, it's been too long. I think we get a Perfect Dark announcement. I do, but I don't see us close. I don't see them closing the show with it.
Fable.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we're doing it. Quarantine talk. We got nothing else to do. So
yeah, go for it.
So my predictions on games that we will see there. And look, to PlayStation people, sorry, we'll talk about PlayStation another day. It's Xbox today, obviously. Fable for you. They'll literally have your picture up there when they show it.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, they'll say thanks, Danny. So no, but I do think we get Fable. I think we get Banjo. I think we get Perfect Dark. Clearly, we're getting Halo. New IP from the initiative. A what if? Because we talked about this the other day. Crimson Skies comes back. What was the other one I was thinking of? There was another one, old IP I was thinking of that they were going to bring back.
Mech Assault.
No, that's you. That wasn't me.
I said Crimson Sky and Mech Assault.
But Mech Assault already exists. It's already a game. Literally, G4, they're doing one of the DLSS 2.0 games is Mech Assault on the PC right now. But you're not a PC gamer, so you wouldn't know that.
No, I don't play that. So yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but there was another one though. I'm not even thinking of it. Another old IP they potentially could bring back, but I'm not thinking of it right now. But there you go. That's my predictions.
Okay. That's a good one. I think that's a good one. But my question to you, Parris.
I got it.
Yo, what?
Cameo for me. That's just me personally. I want Cameo. There you go.
All right. So if you have a choice, Banjo or Cameo?
Banjo. Not even a question.
Okay. To end the show?
Oh, to end the show? No, I'm sticking with the initiative. Their new IP. I think that ends the show.
Okay. I think that. What you think, Pete? I mean, it's been Parris and I just talking all this crazy.
That's
talk.
That's fine. I think if you go out with a bang, I think Banjo turns more heads.
Yes, especially Nintendo fans.
I think if you, I mean, when was the last time they put out a big, massive Banjo game? Like 2009, 2008?
Nuts and Bolts 08.
Yeah. Oh, so, was it 08? Okay.
12 years. I mean, Yeah, that's going out with a bang. I don't know if coming out with a new IP unless it's something recognizable, something that really is going to send people walking out the door scratching their heads. Like, what the hell was that? That's the only way I think coming out with a new IP, like ending the show with a new IP, is really gonna like set Twitter on fire. You throw out Banjo, you throw out that crazy ass, whatever the hell bear he is. You throw him out there with the bird, squawk, squawk. Turn on the lights. Good night. Twitter catches fire.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. From that part to end the show, personally, I think it should be a reboot, a game that we know about from the past that hasn't been out for a very long time. It could be that Banjo, it could be Perfect Dark, or it could also be the conversation we were having a few minutes ago about, let's say, having a partnership with Sega. Maybe if there's an announcement like that with any third party, show that at the end. It doesn't have to be first party. It could be any third party game too. Like, for example, let's make believe. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but imagine Splinter Cell comes out, like, something like that. Personally, that's what I will do. Ended like that. It ended like this with Cyberpunk, a third party game. I think I could see that too for this one. Doesn't have to be first party.
That I agree. It definitely doesn't have to be. And again, we're just throwing stuff at the wall, so it's not like no one takes any of this stuff seriously right now. But
no, I mean, this is fun.
All fun. I mean, it could very well be a big third-party game, which, like you just said, Splinter Cell, I think people would lose their freaking minds if they were to close the show with just and all that. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Imagine.
I'd be sitting here in this office going,
yeah, just give me with the 3 lights.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I don't get this, man. Like, Ubisoft is pushing and promoting Splinter Cell like for a couple years now. Like, I think it's time. Like, when is the right time?
It's gotta be coming.
But do you think they do that with a third-party partner? A title like that? Hey, I mean, I'm wearing the hat right now. Okay, and the logo is probably on here somewhere. I don't think they do that with a third party, though. I think with a title as huge as Splinter Cell, with the following that
they want it, yeah.
You keep that one to yourself. You do that one on your own.
Yeah, I agree. No, again, we agree. And we're just throwing stuff on the wall. I agree. If I'm Ubisoft, I'm not letting Microsoft show off Splinter Cell. I'm doing it. Especially in a digital show when you have a captive audience. Of course, I'm not giving that to them.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. And I think another thing we didn't talk about, but that I'm pretty sure will happen is there will be some huge Japanese IP that they're going to show during that June thing. They're almost
They have to cater. They have to cater to that demographic, and that's one of the reasons why you heard Phil mention that. On your interview with him and stuff like that. They finally have that market now where they're starting to gain traction and interest. You need to bring them in somehow, some way, and you do that by catering to them with titles that are traditionally Japanese or Asia Pacific popular.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Also,
anything else?
Go Danny, ahead. I'm surprised I haven't seen you go ballistic, but Phantasy Star Online 2 beta, the open beta is over and it's officially launched.
No, I've been posting on Twitter. What are you talking about?
Okay, because they just announced it like an hour ago.
I got the press release. I'm excited because this is going to be the first time this is coming for the PC here in North America. It's been out since 2012 in Japan, and it was also available for Vita and also Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch is cloud-based, so I can see that game coming out also for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in the future. I can definitely see it. But I'm excited, man. More people are going to be playing it. Look, I know my cousin, he has a console. He has an Xbox, but he refused to play that game on that. He wants to play it on the PC. So, but we're gonna crossplay. So that's really cool. And I think Mandy too. She said she'll download it once it comes out for the PC, and we're gonna all play together. So I'm excited, man. Super excited. Yeah, I have a lot of hours in that game. Shoosh. A lot of freaking hours. Yeah, but it's fun, man. Really, really cool. Anything else, guys? I think we've been over an hour here, man.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it. Fable in May. All right, let's do it.
and Sega. And Sega, there you go, man. Announcement. There you go, man. No, it's been a good chat, man. Look, man, I'm having fun with this conversation, man. Look, I talked to Parris about this crazy stuff. Every time he calls me, he's like, hey, Parris, what if this? What if that? You know? And then I'll mention to Parris and Pete on WhatsApp, man. So it's all fun, man. I love this. Look, the news has been kind of slow.